Yes. I'm glad that you invited me and that I took part in the conference in Brazil, and I'm glad to share my presentation in Portugal as well. So, first of all, I would like to say that I'm architect, yes, from Architectural Bureau. And we try to implement circular economy in our practice because we just opened a bureau to in this concept, and we try to find more possibilities how to do this and how to do it here in Moscow and Russia, because we have different, I don't know, ways. So how we can use different certifications, but we try to do it in the core of the concept of the circularity. So I would like first of all to say this one, and I'm represented ambassador of Circular Economy Institute, and I'm glad to be an ambassador because it is close for me, because I'm always taking part in organizing of different events and to communicate with people, and from institute it was really close for me. And I would like to invite participants to join this great community of circular economy as well, and because there are a lot of interesting societies different in different countries, and you can find education as well in this sphere, and to find people, like-minded people, it's very important. And first of all, I would like to say about the circular economy, because sometimes I don't know what was in the conference, but I think it is in this theme that sometimes we speak about circular economy as a recycling, but it is a comprehensive concept, and I'm very close for this understanding, and it is about the decoupling of economic growth and well-being from consumption of finite resources and environmental impacts. So it is more comprehensive, big strategy, and it is interesting to implement it on the city levels and try to do this. We try to do this, for example, in the concept of the competitions and so on. And about Russia, I'm from Russia, so it is a big, cold country and very small. If you look on the map, you can see that all the cities are in most of the cities are in the European part and in the south part of Russia, and the other part is really cold, and the distances are very large, and it is hard to implement such practices in Russia. But we have Russia is part of Paris Agreement, and it tried to estimate emissions in the cities, and it has the climate doctrine with the aim for carbon neutrality by 2060. So for all the concepts of the cities, they try to master plans, they try to implement these for future development of the cities, and in different levels, like to accumulate all that data about the cities and to make inventory. And of course, we have a green taxonomy that was established in 2021, and all the projects try to implement these criteria to make green solutions, especially in big infrastructure projects. I would like to say that the Global Alliance of Construction, sorry, just a moment, of the Global Alliance for Building and Construction recently presented the report where they speak about the problems of estimation of emissions, because if it's estimated by IPCC categories, you don't estimate full cycle of emissions in built environment sector. And this could be possibility to implement new practices in all levels and to be more understandable for people who take decisions. And in Russia, all the efforts are primarily concentrated on the reducing of energy consumption, because it is cold, especially in heat energy. And Russia has predominantly centralized heat supply system, and the potential of reduction is quite high and depends largely on management practices. So when we speak about estimation of whole life cycle of emissions, we mostly in projects speak about operational energy, maybe water, yes, but we're really rare we speak about circularity, and this part that could be estimated and could used in showing of the sustainable of like the inputs for a reduction of output. Sorry, for estimation of a reduction of consumption and CO2 emission. So it should be important, should be understandable, but it is not in the common field of discussion. And we try to start this discussion to make it more involved by all people who are in our community. And in Russia, we have a great history of industrialization, and you may know that there are a lot of panel buildings in Russia, so especially in suburbs of the cities, maybe in some Western Europe, there are a lot of, and it has undeniable advantages such as rapid construction, low production cost, and affordability. But on the other side, the level of satisfaction with urban environment and architectural quality is very high in Russia in these parts of the cities, and the lack of diversity is a problem. And it is like jokes in the films and Russian films, then you don't understand in what city are you, and it is like very popular theme. And just several years ago, they tried to improve the situation and to change their architectural policy and created new criteria for the built environment. And these new criteria changed the work of house building plans, especially in Moscow, and tried to change it in other cities. And so it is important that architectural policy could make a lot for this all the supply chain, and could really we could really understand that it is a big step could be if we understand how we can implement circularity as well. So under a renovation program now, old panel buildings are being demolished, but they just implement such practices. They are separate, like about recycling, separate metals, wood, glass, concrete, they recycled into roads. But as we know about circular economy, that modular buildings have a great potential for all this system of circular economy that could be used in the future. And we could really reduce carbon footprint if we integrate it in the concept on architectural in architecture on the first step. So we should think holistically and save materials a maximum of their value. And for example, in Netherlands, I know there are a plan to be in 70 apartments from recovered materials significantly, and they significantly reduce emissions. And it is part of the projects with green bonds and so on. So it has its instruments, financial instruments, and it is very important in all the concept. I would like to say that we took, in our practice in my architecture bureau, we try to implement circular practices. And for example, we made a concept of co-working building where we implemented such ideas and maximum saved, just stimulated to save this place and to use it maximum, because it is good for building, because the client changed all the systems so the building could live longer, and it is part of the strategy of retrofit of the whole building, because it is...
Polina, I'm sorry, you have 3 minutes, okay?
Okay. And the other thing that I would like to say, that design is crucial starting point for circularity. So we have a lot of possibilities to think on the first on design stage to about how it will disassemble in the future, to use modular elements and low carbon materials and new connections. And I would like to say about urban metabolism. So we should think on the city as a like circular economy activities that are planned to slow down and narrow cycles in value chain. And it is about circular urban metabolism, and to implement it on the stages of the concept of the cities that could redistributing responsibilities and managing risks in the city. And we implemented it, for example, in the concept of development of Yekaterinburg new region, where we try to implement nature-based solutions that preserve greenery and wetlands in this territory, which addresses stormwater management, heat stresses, air quality, and biodiversity. And thus, public green spaces collect, purify, and recycle water, providing ecosystem services for the city, for this region, because Yekaterinburg, a very small and very dense city. So in Russia, it is one of our responsibilities, wetlands and forests, because it has a lot of, because in the global context, it is large amounts of carbon dioxide, like sinks of carbon dioxide, and it is important to develop it sustainably. So that's the weight of decision architecture and urban planning. If we calculate it in CO2 emissions, has far-reaching effects on entire supply chain and value of involved communities. Yes, and this is our roundtables in Moscow participants, and we organize Architectural Congress in October. You're welcome. And we will be glad to invite experts who will estimate projects of participants. And yes, I will be glad to collaborate and to speak about circularity, urban environment, and development of our cities in future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Polina.
Thank you, Polina. Thank you, Polina.
Thank you.